We are the Eagles, the Mighty Mighty Eagles. We're going to sing that now.
Jenny, I need you to sing the mascots.
I don't know the man. That's all I know. Not a believer, not following. She smoked, she drank, they had alcohol, that was their lifestyle. And so the immediate connection of, we got our WWJD bracelets at church last Sunday. Okay, well then so for the whole weekend, I just hung out with them. Because we're believers.
Right. Jenny Watrous.
Jonathan.
Okay, so you're on loan from Arizona right now.
Yep.
You and your husband drove out here to hang out with... Well, actually, you're on a trip, just like a family vacation.
Right.
How long is your trip? 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, just over 2 weeks.
And you guys thought, we can't go home without seeing Jonathan and Emily.
Obviously.
Okay, so this is a little bit crazy. You are the daughter of James North.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Dr. North.
Excuse me.
Dr. North.
Dr. North. Okay, so I want to unpack that a little bit more later, but I just set the stage. Who is he and why does that matter?
Well, he's my dad, but professor of church history, Restoration Movement for a really long time. History of the Restoration Church.
Yeah, a pretty pivotal pillar, I think, in modern restoration movement.
Yeah. He's
written books that we use here at Central. Did you guys use them at?
Yeah. When I took the class, he used his own book.
So you took the class from your dad?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I actually took 3 from him.
Okay. So we'll come back to your dad.
Okay.
But what's just blows my mind every time I think about it is somehow... so I met your dad years before we ever met you. And somehow my wife and I become really good friends with you and your husband. In Arizona,
right.
Out of all the places, it's just this crazy coincidence. And I think for a long time we didn't even know. I don't even know. Do you remember how we found out that? How did it come out that your dad was Dr. North?
Oh, I don't know. No, but at the church, they knew that he was Dr. North. I don't know. I don't know when it came up.
So it's this crazy connection. Emily and I are doing ministry in Illinois. Somehow we wind up serving. I'm working at the church, Paseo Verde, in Glendale, Arizona.
Yeah.
And that's where we met you guys, because that's where you were going.
Right.
Okay. So, but you did go to when you went to the college, it was Cincinnati.
CBCNS, Cincinnati Bible College and Seminary.
Yes. So was it always, because I only know that it started as CBS.
So there was, well, maybe it was CBS. I don't remember. My sister would know all of the progressions, but maybe it was CBS. But there was also, I think when my dad first got there, it was Cincinnati Bible College and CCS, Cincinnati Christian Seminary.
Oh.
And which was just the graduate school part.
So these are 2 separate.
Right.
But they're all one.
Right, it was same campus.
Yeah.
But some people just come for graduate school. So they went to Cincinnati Christian Seminary and then the college.
How old were you when your dad first got there? As a teacher, right?
Yes, he was a professor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We moved to Cincinnati when I was 4.5, so 72.
I don't need to know the years.
Yeah, I was.
But you were 4.
I was 4.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, because we moved from California to Cincinnati. We drove out there.
And is it just you and your sister?
Yeah.
Okay. So is she older or younger?
Older.
So you and your sister go out with mom and dad to Cincinnati from California. What's he teaching?
Church, in the graduate school, more specific, like church history. So I don't remember all the titles, but like, so not the overview would be history of the church, but he taught like specific classes of like, I don't know, it was graduate stuff. So more specific, in depth of a certain era or certain period.
Yeah.
So,
but did he also teach undergraduate classes?
When he first got there, I don't remember.
Okay.
He also taught some logic classes.
What's that?
Just logic. I don't know. I had to take one. I didn't take it from him. But yeah, that's not my thing.
Okay. So, I mean, so then he was there the whole time, high school?
Yeah, that was his job. The whole until...
At Cincinnati.
At Cincinnati. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, right out of high school, did you go to Cincinnati?
Right. Yeah. My sister and I both graduated high school. We went to Bible college.
Why?
Well, since he was a professor, classes were free. But we both did room and board. So we paid for room and board.
Yeah.
And did our thing. And she did the music ministry, and I went to teacher education. And
Did you finish?
Yeah.
Do you remember what dorm life was like back then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is now.
No, but what was it like when you were there?
So the first year I lived with my sister because she was a senior, I was a freshman.
Oh, okay.
And so that was fun. So I hung out lots, like with some of her friends, and met, new freshman people. And I met one of my best friends now that I just saw like a month ago, which was great. We were mirror mates. Mirror mates.
Okay.
So the walls, they're like reverse rooms,
Oh,
so
yeah.
wall, there were closets and then a dresser with a mirror. And it was just like, I don't know, probably like one sheet of plywood that was between the closets and the dressers with a mirror.
Yeah.
So you could hear everything.
So as you were both getting ready, talking to yourself, and
right,
you could hear each other.
You could hear each other, and you could talk through the mirror.
And okay, were there a bunch of pranks in the girls' dorms?
No.
Okay. How big was it when you were there? Because I think at one point it's a pretty massive campus.
It was pretty good size. I don't know numbers. I don't remember. I have no idea. We had 2 girls' dorms. We had a guy's dorm. One guy's dorm, but it was bigger than the girls' dorms.
Sure.
But I don't remember numbers.
Are there any like professors you remember that left like a significant impact on your life?
One I'm thinking of, I can't think of his name. Oh, Mr. Davis, Ron Davis. He was like education. And so you took, one was like a multimedia class. So you learned, because I did the Christian education track. So you learn how to use things that nobody knows what they are now, like slide projectors and overhead projectors.
Overhead projector.
And
that's multimedia.
That was multimedia when I was in college. But one of the things that impressed me with Mr. Davis was like, we're learning about how to use whatever media in, Sunday school, when we teach Sunday school. And like at the end of the class, when he prayed, he like pulled in his 5-sentence prayer at the end of class, like pulled in the points that he talked about in class in his prayer.
That left an imprint on you.
And just, he was a really good teacher, really focused. And another one, I had Dr. Myron Williams, and again, education, family stuff. And one of the things he said, like, well, you don't need to memorize that if you know where to find it. Like, you don't need to memorize all of that information. Just know where you can find that information.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
That's a good plan.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the way you're going to live.
Yeah.
You're not going to have everything memorized. In your multimedia class, did you learn how to use flannel graph?
Probably. You probably did something with a flannel graph.
Right. So, okay, you're at a Bible It was Bible college.
Bible college.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's Bible college at this point for an education degree.
Yeah. So it was Christian education, just like a general Christian education
Okay.
degree. And then it was a program with another college in Cincinnati to get teacher certification. Because the Bible college at the time that I went, they were not certified by the state to produce teacher certification. So I had to take it, and they had a plan that I took like all the Christian education classes and the Bible classes at the Bible college.
Yes.
And then I took the education stuff at College of Mount St. Joseph.
Was that much of a commute?
It was for like 15 minutes.
Because they didn't have online back then.
No, they didn't. You did all no. You did it all there. Yeah. So because of that, I did a lot of my Bible classes during the summer, class schedule, so that I could free up to make the blocks for the education for my teacher certification.
Yeah, during the normal school year.
During the normal school year.
Okay, so, but you're getting, obviously your dad's a professor, so there's a benefit to that dynamic, but can you unpack a little bit of the value of the dynamic of having a Bible education that corresponds with like a teacher education?
Maybe. Corresponds with the...
I mean, just like any, you can get a teacher's degree, right, from anywhere, but what's the value of getting Bible while getting some other degree?
Well, the reason I wanted to go to Bible college is so I went public education, kindergarten through high school.
You were going to be a teacher.
And that was the plan, right? But I did public education and just that public environment of, public high school. And then I wanted a different environment for college. I didn't want to go to a public college. I wanted a Christian environment.
Why?
Because I wanted something better.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be around people who believed what I believed.
So that's really interesting because obviously today, walking through a public school scenario, there's so many very extremely different perspectives and people who think very differently. So I can't even put myself in the position in the 70s, what? Oh, you moved when you were 4. Okay.
When I was in college, it was not the 70s. Thank you, Jonathan.
Okay. When were you in college? 90s.
Early 90s.
Okay. So in the 90s, what was the public school dynamic that you experienced that made you think, I need something different?
So in high school, on most weekends, not my core group of friends, but most of the kids were out drinking or partying. That's not what I did. That's not what my 10 group of friends that hang out and did stuff together did.
But it's what they're talking about.
That's what they're talking about. And all around you,
yeah. Surrounded
by, and just, that is not very positive, I wanted more of an uplifting, a more focused
environment,
Christian biblical environment to continue. I had it as an option, so.
That's so interesting because I think okay, if your primary offense was, certain behavior isn't conducive to nurturing my soul, but there's this this totally different perspective, and you homeschool
currently
your child right
yes.
now, and I'm assuming that's plays into
right.
But today, it's not just behavior that is offensive or offends our souls, or it's even just the way that we think about the world and that we think about identity, and there's so many different things now that are compounded. Okay, so you wanted a different environment. Were you planning on teaching in the public setting?
Like I didn't know.
Okay.
Just I was going to get a teacher certificate and figure out what happened from there. No really specifics, just.
Okay, so you get your degree, then what?
So 4 years at the Bible College, and then I had another semester to finish my student teaching.
Okay.
Because I did summers. I finished in 4.5 years. It was a 5-year program.
Yes.
But I did it in 4.5 because I did summers. And then through I think a friend of my sister's, I found like subbing at a private Christian school in Harrison.
Where's that?
Harrison, Ohio. It's about 20 minutes outside Cincinnati.
Okay.
And so I did that. So I finished my student teaching in December, but like you don't get your certificate, immediately. So, like the Christian school, I could sub there and make some money while like everything was being processed. And I took the final tests for certification and all that. And then in the fall, I actually got a full-time position at that same school.
Okay.
At a Christian school. I did that 4 years, I think.
So, I mean, at some point we got to figure out how you met Steve.
So, yeah. So I went, my best friend from high school, she went to college in Long Island.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In New York.
Yeah.
And she was getting married and I was in her wedding. So I went out there and she grew up in church, but not a very good family life. I mean, her father was the preacher, but he was an awful example of what you're supposed to do to follow the Bible. Yeah. And so I knew she'd strayed, and we kept in contact all through college. We wrote each other all the time, like letters through the mail, like real mail.
Right.
Because it was 1990s. And then I was at her wedding and on Long Island, and that's where I met Steve.
In New York?
Mm-hmm. We met at her wedding.
What? Oh, so he was there as a guest to the wedding as well?
Yes, because my best friend Christine is his cousin, his mom's niece.
Where did he come from to visit the wedding?
Arizona.
Oh, so he's anchored in Arizona.
They were in Arizona.
And he came all the way to New York for a wedding.
Yes, because it's his mom's only niece.
Okay. So you guys meet
at the wedding. And I had my WWJD band on.
Of course.
What Would Jesus Do?
Right.
And my...
Turn water into wine since you're at a wedding.
At that point, future father-in-law, he's like, oh, we just got ours in church last week.
The bracelets.
Yeah. So that was an immediate connection because Christine, not going to be... not a believer, not following. She smoked, she drank. They had alcohol at, that was their lifestyle. And so the immediate connection of, oh, we got our WWJD bracelets at church last Sunday. Okay, well then so for the whole weekend, I just hung out with them. Because we're believers.
Right.
So we're already brothers and sisters.
It's this... So it's interesting because on one hand... It's like, I recognize someone who's like me, so I'm going to be, it's like a little bit of a safe space. We just tend to do that in general. We hang out with people that share our likes. But there is this, so I would say I noticed, I think part of the reason why Emily and I were so drawn to you and Steve is because it's not just that we went to church together, but that there are a lot of those like deeper belief core fundamentals that we really felt like, oh, there's this connection, this shared space around our faith. Okay, so you guys meet.
And then Steve and we exchanged email, and he says that I gave him the wrong email address, which it's possible, but it wasn't intentional because it was the 1990s, and their little private school had an email through the county school district that we were a part of.
Yep.
So
as
a teacher.
Yeah.
So it was like first name dot last name dot K12 dot Hamilton County dot Southwest dot like,
This
and
really
I was trying to
long-
remember the whole thing,
Right.
and give it to him. I mean, it was this huge long
Right.
huge long thing, and so he said that he sent me an email and I didn't answer, and he thought, I was like,
He's ghosting him. Yeah.
I was like, and then I emailed him back, and here we are.
So it just took you a while to find. It went to the spam folder.
Yeah, I never got it.
Okay. Well, I mean, so you guys are corresponding the email. How do you end up in Arizona?
Well, that's where he was. Well, yeah. So we corresponded for like 97. He proposed
Via email?
No, he came in person. He met my parents. So I went out there in December, and then he came out and visited my parents in like spring break. Well, my spring break. And then he came out later to meet my sister. And that's when, he met my sister, and then he went home, and then he proposed over the phone. He worked it out with my dad though, because my dad had the ring and I faced a certain way.
Aww.
And he proposed, and
so a little bit like Zoom before Zoom
Right.
existed.
Right.
That's interesting.
And then that fall of 98, he moved to Cincinnati because I had a full-time job. He worked at the shoe store. So he moved to Cincinnati, and he worked at the shoe store in Cincinnati. Kind of got just transferred.
Did you guys have your own place?
Well, after we got married.
Yeah. Yeah.
So first he tried to find an apartment, but nobody, didn't work out because it was going to be only for like 8 months.
Sure.
So he just lived with my parents, which was kind of nice. He got to know my parents, hung out with them, and then got married, and I substituted in a public district in the area. And then that May, his brother was going to get married. And we had talked about moving to Arizona because there were more job options for him in Arizona than in Cincinnati.
Sure.
And as a certified teacher,
You can
kind of move it and just, pick up a few things and be certified. So we're like, well, we're going to go out to your brother's wedding, and we're talking about moving to Arizona. So it seems really dumb to go out for the wedding and then
come back,
move to Arizona. So we just moved out like a week before.
Wow.
We packed up, and we were out there a week before the wedding, and yeah.
And then
we've been in Arizona.
Yeah. How long did you teach before you stopped teaching?
I moved to Arizona, get Arizona certified was kind of a pain, but I taught 2 years full time, and then I subbed, took a break for a year and a half, and then I subbed for 8 years. So I think I figured it out probably like 20 years of teaching.
Wow. Okay. So there's a significant event that happened in your life after that, I'm guessing.
Oh, that I stopped teaching?
I'm guessing that the event was
Yes. Yeah, then Joe came along. The boy.
The boy,
who's now 14.
Yeah, how did that happen? I mean, for those of you who don't know, this is where do babies come from, Jenny? So how did Joe get plugged into your life?
So some friends of ours, Joe's adopted, so some friends of my husband's family called one Sunday when my parents were visiting Arizona. We're like, there's a couple at our church who have this baby that they just had, that they don't like their options. And Becky said, I thought that Steve and Jenny should have a baby.
Wait. You guys weren't even in an adoption process at all?
We had not started anything. So Steve and I had talked, and we were going to start the process.
But you had not yet.
But we were waiting till after Christmas. My parents were coming in February. We were going to wait till they left because it's a 12-week. It's 12 weeks of classes before you can do anything.
Okay.
And we hadn't started it yet. And we didn't tell anybody.
So you didn't. Nobody knows you're even having this conversation.
Correct.
And someone comes up like, hey, I thought you should have a kid.
Yep.
Okay. And then what?
So Becky called on a Sunday, and then Steve called the birth father back. And on Monday, we drove up to Cottonwood in Arizona from Cave Creek. And my favorite question, we told my dad after we talked to the birth father, we told him what our plan was. And he said, have you thought about this before?
What was your plan at this point?
Well, we were going to go up and talk to them about this baby.
Oh, and it just felt like you're moving pretty quick? Or
right.
Yeah.
My dad was like, have you thought about this before? And we're like, yeah.
Oh, we just never told you.
We just never told you.
Got you. Yeah.
Like, yeah, we thought about this before today. We
right. Never thought of it.
We did think about this before today.
Okay.
And then we talked to the birth parents for probably 3 or 4 hours. And then we drove down their hill. Their house was the paternal grandparents' house was on a hill. We drove down, went to some, I don't know, like Burger King or something, and started eating. And they got a phone call and said, we'd like you to take Joe.
And just from that point on.
From that point on.
Wow. I did not know that was the...
And then, so he was born on a Friday, heard about him on Monday, heard about him on a Sunday, talked to birth parents on a Monday, and then Tuesday he was at our house.
Did you have to do did you still have to do the 12-week thing?
Nope. We did a private adoption. We used rapidadoption.com, which is the actual website.
Wow. I mean, I know you frequently have talked about how it was just really quick and unexpected and like all this, but I did not know that was the story. And then we actually entered the picture not long after that, because how old is Joe when we show up at Cerro Verde? 3 or 4?
Probably 3-ish, maybe 2 or 3-ish.
So if you were to kind of, and even that was 10 years ago. 10 years ago?
10 years, yeah.
Wow.
10 or 11, yeah.
So if you just kind of like did a big step back and looked for God's deliberate and intentional, like setting pieces in motion, what would you look back and be like, I can just look and see how when this happened in my life, that was so clearly God setting things up for.
Yeah, so like, I mean, in my era, lots of girls went to the Bible College to get their MRS degree.
Yes.
But like, I wasn't really, I don't want to say I wasn't interested. It didn't work out that way for me at all. Like, there were some guys I liked, but it was kind of like, nothing really happened. And so, like, a lot of prayer, like, I really want this, but nothing's happening.
Like a relationship, like a husband.
Right. Like, I really want to get married.
Yeah.
But it's not happening. And so I kind of need to let it go. And like, my first principal at this private school, well, the second one, there was lots of drama, but he's like, so where do you see yourself in 10 years? I was like, well, I don't want to be married and have kids. But like right now there was not, when he asked me that, there was nothing happening.
Yeah, right.
So I felt like once I like let it go, like prayed and talked to God and like let it go, and it wasn't like a mental focus as much,
Then things happen.
And then I went to this wedding and I met this guy. And then we got married and we were going to wait to have kids. That was the plan. And then we tried to have kids and it didn't happen.
We've never had the conversation, but how do you process that?
Like not having children.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I wanted a child like since I was a sophomore in college. I'm like, I want to be a mom.
Yeah. And
okay, I waited, got married, waited. Just didn't have any. It was hard.
How what was it like for you in that, like, with God? Like, what was that dynamic? Like, was that a wrestling match between you and God?
I guess I wouldn't say a wrestling match. More just, I guess more just a why, more just question, just like why, and being sad, and but I mean, I can't make it happen. No. And then just waiting and keep moving on and moving forward and keep talking to God. And
what did it look like? So, because Emily and I are pregnant now, but it also took us, quite a long time before it did happen. So what did it look like for you and Steve to, like, pray through that together and process through that together?
I don't know. Just, I don't know. I've never really thought about it in that way before. Just kind of, doing our thing. Like just being together and just spending time with each other, and
right, like not having to be alone in the middle of it.
Yeah, just doing it together.
Yeah.
And talking about it, and
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, because I've always kind of wondered, but I waited until this moment where everyone in the world can hear your answer to ask you. But thank you. I appreciate.
Sure.
And, I think a lot of people probably feel alone when they're, like, not sure how to process through that. All right. So with us, I have the head of the beloved
Golden Eagle.
Yes, the Golden Eagle. And apparently there's a song. You don't need to sing it, but were like a cheerleader or something?
No. Oh. But we had basketball, so you went to basketball games.
And everyone sang the...
Yeah,
We Are the Eagles.
We Are the Eagles, the Mighty Mighty Eagles.
Yeah.
Say something. But since my dad was a professor...
Yes.
He's from Indiana, so basketball, Indiana. He liked basketball. So every once in a while, we would go as a family when I was little, or, young. I was 5 when we moved to Cincinnati. And so I just remember sitting in the bleachers, and there were these, there were cheerleaders and the basketball team, but there were these guys. They were called the Bleacher Creatures.
Okay.
And they were just like goofball.
Yeah.
Like maybe during halftime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just remember the Bleacher Creatures. And they did strange, goofy things that
college students
thought
do.
was right. That college students do. That was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I thought as an elementary student, they were funny.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about your dad for a little bit. All right. So Dr. James North, he is writing books that we used, that colleges use to teach about the Restoration Movement. Can you give me like a 10-cent? What is the Restoration Movement?
Oh, probably not.
From the daughter of...
Well, the Restoration Movement is the Protestant church in America. Alexander Campbell, Thomas Campbell, and their like transition from all the denominations into focusing on scripture, only doing only the things that scripture says as part of the New Testament church.
Right, and not adopting or embracing all these extra peripheral things.
Not these traditions or,
labels,
not like labels or like the legalism of all of that.
And I mean, to be fair, legalism creeps in regardless, right? So anywhere, but yeah, so he has books that set the standard for what it looks like to talk about and teach the Restoration Movement history. Do you have like an awareness, like what went into why did he care about that? What was the process through which do you know any of his history?
So before he wrote History of the Church, well, the original title was Pentecost of the Present, History of the Church.
Oh.
An orange burnt orange cover, which that was the first edition. But he used, I don't know, Christians Only by Edward, I think it starts with an M, was the church history book.
Oh, okay.
That he used in class, but he didn't really like it.
As a teacher.
That was the book that he used, because that's what was available. But he didn't really like it. That's what I remember. And so he wrote his own book.
Wow.
When my sister graduated from high school and she went to college, pretty sure that's when it happened, in 87. She moved to the dorm, and so they redid her room. So it was like a bedroom / office. And he stayed home for a semester, and he wrote his book.
Wow.
On a daisy wheel printer. Because he didn't like dot matrix.
So he publishes this book. We're using it in college, and he comes to Central while I'm a student here, and I get this thumbs up picture.
You do.
I get a thumbs up selfie with Dr. James North, and then years later, my wife and I become friends with his daughter and her husband. And that's just such like a crazy, like, what? And here's what's even more crazy to me is that you went to Cincinnati, and we're like merged with them, and like we're all like this crazy connection. So then when I think of like God putting pieces into place, like that, it seriously gives me chills sometimes when I think about like I met your dad and I got a selfie with him before we ever met, and it's just crazy. Are there any things about Cincinnati, CBC, that you just kind of lament having lost?
I mean, it was a beautiful campus on the hills of Cincinnati. Just the community that was when my sister and I went, of just the community that was there with professors and the people that we went with. And then after we left and my dad did stuff, and then he started doing less as he was retirement age, and the community changed. Before it changed to CCU, the community changed and the focus shifted, I think, away from what it had been. And I think that made it head downhill and go away.
Sure.
Because I think it lost its focus of teaching biblical morality.
Yeah. Keeping the focus
there.
Sure. And then I think it was your dad passed like 4 years ago.
4 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, his legacy, I mean, I told Dr. Finch, so you were just here visiting, and I thought, shoot, they're here. I need to have a sit down with Jenny before they leave. Like, this was totally impromptu. And I was like, telling Dr. Finch, I was like, Dr. James North's daughter is here. You got to meet her. But I know he'll watch this and he'll appreciate. So I'm appreciating. Thanks for giving me some of your impromptu time.